Don't shout at me like that.
You wrong!
No, I weren't wrong.
Here, come here!
Please,
If the floor,
hang on a minute,
if the floor has water on it, is it considered wet?
Here on the channel, we're no stranger to wife swap. As of about 6 months ago, I've covered it 4 times on the channel. And as I was looking for another episode to cover, I realized I haven't even touched Wife Swap UK yet, and you guys have asked for it a ton, so I figured now would be as good a time as any to cover it. Of course, most of you know the gist with this show. 2 families swap wives for 2 weeks. The first week they follow the rules set by the wife that they're replacing, and the second they implement their own rules. And while this probably wouldn't be too big of a deal with most households, Wife Swap has a knack for finding the most obtuse families, often on opposite ends of the spectrum of insanity, to ensure that there will be clashing. Wife Swap UK is no exception. It's just in the UK instead. And boy oh boy, I was not prepared for how intense this episode was gonna get. Also, I'm not used to uncensored swearing on these shows. You know, that's my job. Seriously though, this episode was quite intense. I had to break it up into 2 viewings because I needed a damn break.
Meet the Jones family. Karen and Brian have been together for 6 years and live in Norfolk with Karen's kids.
Of course, every episode starts off with an introduction to the families in what is scientifically proven to be the most awkward way of doing so, making them smile at the camera for what feels like 10 minutes straight.
And live in Norfolk with Karen's kids. 13-year-old Kingsley, 11-year-old twins Jordan and Pia, and their 4-year-old son Brandon.
Also, I want to throw this out there right away. If at any point in this video you think that I'm being too hard on Brian, the first husband, just know I'm not. He deserves every bit, and you will see why.
Meet the Williams family. Sharon and Paul have been together for 2 years and live in Rochdale with Sharon's kids. 19-year-old James, Leon, who's 14, and 11-year-old Olivia.
Oh, you know they ripped Leon away from his PS2 to film this. He looks pissed. Now, unfortunately for me, I was forced to watch this on Tubi, which, among other reasons, is unfortunate because there did not seem to be subtitles available for this episode, which I learned the hard way that when you get British people mumbling, it might as well be a different fucking language.
Brian lays the rules down in this house, and everybody else follows. He's very domineering.
There's no give with him. Absolutely none at all. It's his way or the highway.
I am in charge because I have a vision. I like to set goals and try to achieve them.
Right off the bat, holy shit. I don't think anything can make you look more like a piece of shit than kicking your feet up, smoking a cigarette, and telling your wife what to do. Very quickly, we learn how this house is ran. Brian is the military dad/stepdad that smokes in the house and basically barks orders at everyone else, telling them what to do. Nobody allowed in certain areas of the rug, specifically areas that are fluffed daily. He wants all the glasses facing a certain direction, everything cleaned a certain way, no kids in the kitchen when food is being cooked. Very particular stuff, and once again, he does none of it. And at first I thought maybe he would, at the very least, have the excuse of working hard all day so he wants to come home and relax, but no. He works in computers. He's a fucking nerd.
But you have to cut about that much off the bottom.
But despite 5 years of military-style discipline, Brian still doesn't think that his family come up to scratch.
Rules are rules. Once they're put down, they need to be followed.
By the end of this episode, you're gonna wish it was instead an episode of Husband Swap, and the swap in question would be swapping Brian for a bag of rocks that can't talk instead. Then we move on to the punishments he inflicts on the kids when they misbehave.
There are different methods of punishment which I will use. Extra chores, exercise. Give me 25 jumping jacks. I will try to make it painful, that they will remember what they did. Ready? Down!
There's a number of different punishments I'll go with, like cleaning, exercise, no TV, cigarette burns, stuff like that.
I don't like the punishment exercising because it hurts sometimes.
When you get punished, whose fault is it?
Ours.
As I mentioned before, he is a dad/stepdad here. 3 of the kids aren't his and 1 is, so not only is he strict and smokes in the house, but he's got stepdad added on top of all of that. And he's the only American in the house. Like, imagine if some dude came over from the UK, started banging your mom, smoking inside, barking orders at you in an English accent.
He's just very, everything is a high standard. And to him, he sees no wrong in that, as I don't. I think, you know, if you're going to bring children up, do it right. But it's very boot camp around here sometimes. You're constantly on tenterhooks. As a family, we are very separated. And it is very much me and the children. And Brian stands on his own.
Well, so far the most healthy dynamic we've seen on a wife swap episode yet.
The only thing I want to gain out of wife swap is for him to realise I'm not lazy, I'm not useless, I'm not stupid, that I'm not that bad.
Seeing Karen say all of this almost makes me feel as bad as I did for that one daughter on a previous wife swap video I did.
Richard and Ricky are hanging out together, while Elena does her homework alone.
Karen!
So after that very upsetting introduction to the Jones family, we're going to move on to the Williams family.
Sharon Williams moved into her boyfriend Paul's house 6 months ago. She and her kids quickly took over the house.
I'm in charge because I've got kids. And my kids only listen to me anyway.
And similarly to the first family, we've got sort of a step-family situation with Sharon, her 3 kids, and her boyfriend Paul. Now this is the family where I felt the most like I needed subtitles for. I really had to concentrate sometimes when they talk.
Sharon's outspoken, very demanding. She wants her own way all the time.
A lot of the time with Paul, but especially the kids, because they are British teenagers. They're at that point in their lives where they don't give a shit about anything, and enunciating to the point where American TV audiences can understand them, not high on their priority list.
This is our house, so therefore everything should be equal, not just your way, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to control everything.
I don't control everything, I just
You're trying to.
have the last say.
Now the dynamic in this household is basically flipped from the first one, where Sharon is the one in charge and Paul is a pushover partner and just along for the ride.
Sharon's number one priority is her 3 kids, Olivia, Leon, and James.
The main difference being Sharon is not a scary military dad that smokes in the house, so it could be worse, right?
Can I have my brew?
I have to make sure it's got 2 tea bags in it, 6 sugars. If it's too cold, he sends it back.
I need some more sugar in it.
Mom!
I love how people in the UK like to make fun of Americans for how much sugar our kids consume, and then you got this fucking kid like, oh, I'll take, can I get 6 sugars in milk in my tea, as if that's not Mountain Dew Code Red in a mug. Now, while Paul may feel emasculated at home, somewhere he does feel in charge is the ballroom dance floor. That is his thing. That's his one break from this hellscape he lives in at home. And as you could imagine, the kids, well, they don't quite respect that area of his life either.
Ballroom dancing's for gays. Paul says he does dancing for exercise, but a normal man would just go to the gym or something.
Paul's young and he's still learning. Give Paul another year and he'll be fine.
Paul's just sitting there like, fuck you, we're a year apart. Alright, so we've got 2 very dysfunctional homes right now, to various degrees, and it sounds like the only way to fix them is to go on this TV show that is designed in a lab to cause problems for literally everyone involved. I don't know what is a worse band-aid for your problems. Going on paranormal home inspectors because you're grieving your loss, or going on wife swap to fix your broken home. Now, one thing that Yellow. Oh, hi. It's John Murch. Yeah? Right now? Well, if you say so. Well, guys, it's about time for me to tell you that I've dropped new merch. Most of you probably know, but if you haven't, I dropped new merch. You can go find it at chrisjames.shop, or here on my channel, we've got the Diner Collection, the sweater, the 3 t-shirts, the Chris James hat. Go check them out. Let me know if you do. If you do pick up some, wear it, post it, I'll share it. So go pick up some merch, or don't. I'm not your dad.
I'm quite glad to be leaving Brian at the moment. It'll be a nice break.
Yeah, I fucking bet. Jesus Christ.
I hope the husband's not going to be obnoxious and think he can tell me what I can do, because he'll definitely come unstuck. Black men are scared of their own colour. That's why they tend to go out with white, blonde bimbos.
Yep, that sounds like Karen, just an old blonde bimbo.
So I think I've been sent to put him in his place.
Now, as the wives arrive at their new home, they're greeted with a very well-formatted, detailed, laminated template for how their home is ran, and totally not the showrunners writing their own fan fiction about the family.
He'll make them squat as if sitting in a chair for something they've done wrong. I want to strangle him already and I've not met him. I want to kill him.
But now that the wives have gotten a chance to read the script that the narrator has been reading off the last 9 minutes of the show, it's time for them to meet the families.
Hello.
I'm Leon.
Hello, Leon.
James.
Hello, James.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
You must be
Brandon.
Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Hi. Thank you, Kingsley. Come and give me a kiss, here.
And even though it's Karen's first night in her new home, Paul's going out, leaving Karen in charge of the kids.
That is an actual dance class you take.
Ballet.
Okay then. See you then. Have fun. Bye-bye.
Oh, you're gonna go ballroom dancing. All right. Sounds good. Have fun. What the fuck?
Is that okay? Perfect?
Yes, I can tell by the color. Maybe at the end of this, maybe I'll learn something, but I guarantee you she will learn something.
Now it's the next morning when Sharon has to follow the same rules that the original wife does, where we really see Brian just being a man-child that can't do shit for himself.
Brian's not happy.
I think we've had a breakdown. You're supposed to wake me up, give me a wake-up call in the morning.
Apparently he needs a wake-up call every morning, even though he has an alarm that goes off but seemingly chooses to ignore it, so that he can come out and complain that he did not get his wake-up call. Also this.
Sharon?
Yeah?
Could you come here for a second?
Yes.
I'm shaving right here.
Yes.
Did you remember my location and vacuum in this area?
I would lose my shit if someone just started trimming their beard in some random walkway in the house and told me to vacuum it up, like not even in the bathroom at least. Now back at the other family, we see Paul just sitting like this. No wonder these kids don't respect you, Paul. Sit up, Jesus Christ.
Oh, thank you. Morning. There you go. Have a taste.
Now with a bit more sugar in it.
A bit more sugar. Okay.
Me, when my mom brings out my morning cherry Pepsi and I ask her to add some more sugar to it.
Do you think that Leon and Olivia speak to him the way they do because they see you doing it?
He's not their dad, so they're not gonna listen to him.
They're not even going to try and give him a chance.
They've tried
as an adult.
They try with him, but he'll argue, as you wouldn't have seen yet. But normally he'd argue with him like kids. Do you know, like kids, like the TV, they'd argue.
What? Checking back in at the other house while Brian takes his daily nap, we get some insight into how the kids feel about the way that this house is ran.
I think that's a bit... Because you're just going to wear it again, you're going to crease it again. I feel sorry for Mum because she has to sit there for like hours at night time. We do offer to help her, but she says no because most of it's Brian's clothes and she doesn't want us to get wrong if we do it wrong.
Less than enthusiastic about it, which like I said, I can imagine why. Especially him being their stepdad, there must be so much fucking resentment there.
Paul gets back after a day's work to find he can't get a seat in his own home.
So now Karen is trying to help Paul out here and coach him on ways that he can discipline the kids, and to his credit, he does try.
Can I sit down, please? Can you go upstairs and play in your room, please, for a bit?
Why?
So I can come in and sit down. Please, Leon.
Sit down and I'll sit down here with him, I'll sit at the table or something.
But of course he gives up because they're just little shits that don't respect him. I don't know what else he could do. They respect Karen like 10 times more, and she's been there for what, a day? And in Paul's defense, he did have to confront what looked like 7 snickering British teenagers, so I can see why he wasn't bursting at the seams with confidence. Now it's time for Sharon and Brian to clean the place, and it is a team effort because while Sharon is doing the cleaning, Brian is doing arguably the most important task, housing 2 hot dogs on a recliner. Also, as you can imagine, Brian is not crazy about the way that Sharon cleans.
I can see that she is trying, but the standards are a little bit lower. Tomorrow will be a day where you vacuum and fluff, this carpet.
What does fluffing mean?
The fluff brush is here underneath this table.
Brian, I'm so bad at this. And you do such a good job, I'd hate to mess this up. Maybe you should do it, since you're so good at it, and I'm so bad at it.
When I go and stand on that, it just flattens the pile again.
Okay, you won't be standing on this red part at least.
Back at the other house, which this show goes back and forth more than any other show I cover, so I'm going to stop prefacing it when it happens. I think you guys will get it. But one of the kids comes home past curfew, and it's, of course, Paul's job to discipline them.
At the moment, whilst you're in this house, you're under my care. Whilst your mum's not here. So, you're not going out tomorrow night, Leon.
Well, he does about as good of a job as you'd think he would, and we get this riveting response from the kid.
I do what I want.
You're grounded, it's as simple as that tomorrow night.
If you can literally stop me getting out this out, that's the only way you're going to stop me from going out.
And you may be thinking, Chris, I don't even know what the hell he just said. And you know what? Neither do I, but I don't think Paul liked it very much.
I've just grounded Leon because he was in a...
You're not grounding him.
I am grounding him.
You're not grounding him.
If you can literally stop me from getting out this house, I won't go out the house. Put it that way.
Well, I can stop you, alright. With a dance.
If anyone's going to ground him, it'd be Karen.
Karen's grounded him as well.
He's grounded, James.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Right, you can wait this house now, James, then.
Far from staying calm, Paul makes the situation worse.
You've just chucked James out.
I actually think this would be an excellent episode of Husband Swap, because I would love to see that piece of shit Brian mixed up with these kids.
While Brian's checking that 4-year-old Brandon's been properly dressed.
Ready? Turn. Wrong child is about to send my son to school looking like a fucking idiot. Look. No.
God. Damn, that sounded so sharp.
In Rochdale, the whole family has gone on their regular ice skating trip. But tensions between Paul and Leon are still running high.
Now, I am absolutely not throwing shade at ice skating here. I like ice skating. It's fun. But it's hilarious seeing these kids being like, dancing's for girls, and then happily participate in probably one of the most majestic physical activities you can do, no problem.
There's even a row over who sits where in the car.
It was telling me to move. It was giving me orders, and don't take orders off the children.
Can I ask why Paul isn't sitting in the front seat? Wouldn't that just make the most sense in the first place?
We sat there, I said move up so I could get in
I got out of the car so you could get out in the car.
What the hell did he just say? Damn you, Tubi, for not having subtitles. And also having a monopoly on Wife Swap UK.
Paul could be rather petty. It wouldn't have hurted him to have moved, no more than it would have hurt Leon to sit in the middle of the car. But he's an adult. If he wants to be treated like an adult, act like an adult.
I mean, haven't we seen countless examples of Paul trying to be reasonable with them, and them just telling him to fuck off? Like, they have no ounce of respect for this man. What do you expect?
Do you want anything doing, Brian?
God, just seeing the way Brian inspects his home right away when he gets off work, looking for problems, like, what a miserable existence.
Is this what you do at home? I mean, leave the floor wet and stuff, you know? We got children, they could slip and fall. I mean...
The floor's wet. Where's the floor wet?
I tell you what, if you can't see that shit, then I can't tell you because you don't want to see it.
Look, I know I swear a lot. Okay, I'm not against swearing generally, but doesn't it feel worse when he does it? Maybe it's because he's dropping these F-bombs in front of the kids, but it just stings so much worse when he does it. Like earlier when he said this.
Wrong child is about to send my son to school looking like a fucking idiot.
Doesn't that just pierce your ears for some reason? Now we're about at that part in the episode where it gets tense. If it hasn't already, and I have not seen an interaction quite this heated in Wife Swap yet.
If I slip on that floor, it's my fault.
Come here. Can you go over there right now? Exactly.
Well,
because no. Because the stove is off, right?
And Brian does what any good parent would do in a heated moment like this, and drag your kid into it. Sorry, drag your stepkid into it.
So therefore, the children have enough fucking sense to tell that the stove is off, okay? So what you just fucking said was the children are not going to go past the line.
But it's not.
But you was fucking wrong.
Might I remind you, this all started because there was some water on the floor in the kitchen, and Brian was not happy with the way that Sharon talked to him about it.
Don't shout at me like that.
You was fucking wrong.
No, I weren't wrong.
Here, come here.
Please,
if the floor,
hang on a minute, please.
If the floor has water on it, is it considered wet?
It doesn't even matter that kid isn't in trouble right now and is just a pawn in all of this. He's still yelling in her face. If that was me, I'd cry. I would cry.
Yes. Thank you. All right? Take it easy. Get on in there.
And the fact that she doesn't even break a sweat when he does this is very worrying because she is used to this.
She's going to say yeah because she's not going to want to upset you. I'm sorry. You were screaming at her face.
Yeah.
If the floor
I tell you what.
water
I tell you what you could do for me right now for the whole situation is just shut the up.
Sharon's right. Like, what do you think he would have done if she said no? Do you think he would have been like, oh, sorry guys, I guess I was wrong on this one. I'm going to go smoke a pack of cigarettes on the couch now.
All right?
No, I'm not one of your children.
No, you don't have to be one of my motherfucking children.
Don't shout down at me.
You got it? So don't come with that bullshit.
So?
I asked her a yes or no question.
It's baffling, the contrast of him sitting here on the couch all calm and him in the kitchen not 5 minutes ago yelling like that.
She could have answered it, well, no, and then went on to say, I didn't realize the floor was wet. Very simple.
It was a yes or no question. It was that simple. I didn't even think there was an argument or a fight at all. I was holding back. I was holding back.
But no, she had to go the long way around, and then that's what happens when you go the long way around.
I usually try not to pass too much judgment on people in these shows, mainly because I know the nature of reality shows are to paint every person in whichever way suits the narrative of the show. But with Brian, I feel comfortable saying he is simply a piece of shit. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think I've ever flat out said that about anyone on a show yet.
Let him see tomorrow when he has to conform. I will get that close to his face and I will scream orders in his face like he has done with me and like he does with them children.
God, I love this boo-boo ass recording of Wife Swap UK that Tubi has where it just freezes when it would normally cut to a commercial break. So now finally, it's time for the moms to implement their new rules onto the household for the next week. So if it hasn't been tense yet, it soon will be. And as usual, it's basically the opposite of how things have been going thus far. Sharon makes Brian do all the cleaning, prohibits him from smoking inside. Wild concept, I know, and allows the kids to play in the living room. Also another wild concept, I know. At the other house, Leon gets a new curfew, and that's about as far as the rules go. Everything else I think is more fun stuff, like Paul going shopping with the kids, and the kids having to accompany Paul to go ballroom dancing. Fun ensues. Basically, a lot of what goes on in that household from here on out is just going to be bonding exercises.
Brian!
Yes?
Can you please take that plate away? It's had enough and throw that in the bin.
Okay, is there anything else?
No,
Because
nothing
I'm not
else.
a jumping jack.
No, you're not a
okay? I'm not
jumping
a
jack,
fucking
please.
house slave, okay?
Please take
and I'm not
the
gonna be
plate
bruh. I'm not gonna be doing
Please
that,
take
okay?
that away, Brian.
And that's it.
Well, if there's anything else, I'll call you.
No, you ain't gonna call me right away.
It is laughable how hypocritical this situation is. We literally have footage of him from not 15 minutes ago doing the exact thing, not only to your wife swap wife, but your actual fucking wife.
Karen!
In the Williams house, Paul's struggling to command respect from the kids.
Phone away, please, for at the table. Thank you.
Olivia, please.
As you could expect, not much changes with Paul and the kids. They still don't respect him. What's new? But back with Brian and Sharon, we see how the kids feel about the new rules.
What do you think about the rug going?
I feel more relaxed in here now because with the rug, it's a bit like, do I dare step on it?
And just like what we see in almost every wife swap episode, one, if not all of the kids, love the new rules. They're like, man, this is great. It's the first time I've smiled in 3 years.
By the time the children start playing basketball in the lounge, Brian's had enough.
Hey, don't lose track of reality now. You got it?
Brian, you should have come to me and I would have dealt with it. I was coming in. Can you please assume the squat position for me, please?
No, because I did not. No, because I did not, okay? Break one of the rules.
Go on.
I can do it right
Go on.
there. See?
You keep it
but
squat.
I don't need to because
need to do the squat.
I'm not getting disciplined because I didn't do anything
You
wrong.
need to do the squat. No,
All
but you
right?
don't like your own discipline.
Alright, I never try to comment too harshly on people's physical appearances in these, mainly because I've always felt that even if you don't like a person or they're a piece of shit, you making a public comment about their appearance most of the time just hurts the feeling of other people with said physical attributes, so it's best to just not comment on them at all. But goddamn, this man walks like he's got that substitute teacher ass. Like he is walking down the aisle collecting quizzes right now.
Put my hand in there and you'll be sorry. Get off. Get off. Get off me now.
Yeah, get off.
You've been robbed. Got a chocolate?
Yeah, I do.
You deserve them.
Alright, I know whatever English candy they're eating right now is not good enough to warrant that altercation we just saw. Oh, bruv, it's a bag of trout and crisps. It's a bag of dried trout and apricot with sugar sprinkled on it. It's always like the worst thing you've ever heard in your life. And they're like, yeah, I also eat it with baked beans.
Just one day into the new regime and Brian's breaking the rules for the second time.
You smoked in the bathroom.
Prove it.
God, once again, what a piece of shit.
Prove it.
I mean, we literally just saw you. I mean, we have it on... wait, I shit my fucking pants. I have to go.
I don't even do that, no.
There was a cigarette butt in the toilet. What's that?
If
Meditation?
no.
Him doing that little anger management breathing exercise there was probably more frightening than the yelling. Luckily, the situation finally starts to calm down, and they both actually come to some kind of agreement.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying.
So today
You're
when I
lying.
come
You're
back,
lying. No.
you will be punished.
No.
Classic Chris James lie, as I always say. It's been a while since I directly lied to your face like that, and it was starting to feel a little restless after months of not doing so it feels good to lie. I'm gonna keep doing it.
I will deal with you when I get back, Brian. Whether you like it or not, I will deal with you.
Later, keep on thinking that. Keep on thinking that. See, she ain't got no proof. Without proof, I can't be found guilty in any court of law, anywhere.
Just one day into the new regime and Brian's breaking the rules for the second time.
Now, as I mentioned before, the kids end up taking Paul out shopping because apparently they hate the way he dresses, even though I've not noticed much of a difference at all in the way he dresses versus the way that they do, but it is England in the early 2000s, so what the fuck do I know? But it's one of those nice moments that are few and far in between on a wife swap episode where they actually have a good time bonding over turning Paul into Rochdale Slim Shady.
If we can do one whole day without any argument, any fuss, tomorrow's going to be that little bit easier and that little bit easier, and I think they'll be well on the way to getting on the way I would want them to get on.
Now, even though things are going a little smoother with Paul and Karen, the same cannot be said about Brian and Sharon. I've decided to tell it like it is this time. I'm not going to lie to you guys this time. Yeah, things could be going much better.
You can't follow one simple rule, not to smoke.
Also, is it not insane how protective Brian is on that rug? Yet he chain smokes in that room all night. Like, that thing is caked in tar. If you wrang it out, nothing but yellow sludge would drip off.
Oh, gross! That is the face of a smacked ass who's losing control. I just think it's a dick.
Sorry, I love that phrase. That is the face of a smacked ass. I gotta write that down.
Now that Paul's got some street style, the Williams kids are prepared to be seen out with him. They're even going to his ballroom dancing class.
I'm gonna try it, but it's still atrocious.
Imagine Paul walks in here and he is just king shit at this ballroom dance class. Everyone's like, "Hey Paul, what's up, man?" Like that episode of Parks and Rec where they go to Grain and Simple and everyone there knows Chris Traeger.
Hey guys. Hey. Amber, Annie, Bill, Johnny.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
I enjoyed it. It was a laugh.
Yeah, it was.
It weren't as bad as I thought it'd be anyway.
See, guys, ballroom dancing isn't so bad after all. Hi, Gertrude. See you inside. It's nice having this pleasant break in the episode before returning to hell.
If you hoover the living room and dust the TV, I'll give you £3.
To go out with tonight?
Yeah.
And it turns out all it takes to gain the respect of these kids was to get a little bit of drip, show them your moves, and bribe them to do chores. Only took him a week and a half to figure all that out.
If Brian, which he always has done, he's always questioned my parenting. Basically, at the end of the day, my parenting skills, how he makes me feel, are absolutely no good. But he's wrong. If anything, he needs to look at his own methods that he thinks are so perfect and look at what I'm doing and the respect I've earned from children I didn't know until a week ago.
I smell a much-needed divorce coming out of that end because, man, Brian, I think is just one of the worst people I've ever seen. I really hope things don't go well for that man in general. I hope he owes on his taxes. How about that? I think that's fair.
I mean, do you like living in filth?
No.
Disarray?
No.
He's sitting there now, I can hear what he's saying. He's like carrying on like an idiot, basically, and saying to the kids, do you think that's right? The kids are going to agree with him because they feared to death.
Man, things seem to just keep getting better with Karen and Paul, and only getting worse with Sharon and Brian.
Hello.
Hello, you
Hello.
Right?
You're in on time? Are you staying in tonight?
Yeah, I'm coming in for a bit.
You prove you can actually do it.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, Leo. You've done me proud tonight.
Paul has, if just temporarily, gained the respect of Sharon's kids, and Karen gained some respect for herself.
And I'm glad I have, because not only have I helped you, I've helped myself. In my environment, my home, I'm constantly being told that I'm lazy, that I'm useless, that I'm stupid, I'm a bad parent.
Don't let him get you down.
I'm not going to.
And I hope that sticks when she reunites with Brian. But you know what? I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. In a shocking turn of events, things start to actually get better with Sharon and Brian.
But how will Karen feel when she sees that you've failed, that you've not kept your end of the bargain?
Why am I worried about what she's going to think about a situation that she don't know nothing about? If you feel you need to leave, get going.
Oh my god, wow. Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a reach going for another lie this soon, but ooh, it was just too delicious of a temptation not to. And you bit. You ate the bait, bitch.
Unable to get Brian to stick to her rules, Sharon is leaving the house a day early.
I'm really gonna miss you.
Thank you for everything.
I'm gonna miss you so much.
I'm gonna miss you so much. See ya.
Damn, it is upsetting seeing how sad the kids are for Sharon to be leaving them. It's not like they're saying, "Oh yeah, it was nice to have you here. I'm gonna miss you." They're like, "I will miss you so fucking much. Can you please take this rug with you?"
Bye.
Get on in here.
Also, the fear in that girl's eyes when Brian tells them to get back inside. So because Sharon is leaving early, so will Karen. They will be prematurely ending their 2-week stay on this episode of Wife Swap. Can he look any more pissed off standing there with those flowers? Holy shit. One thing is for certain. Sharon has some thoughts about Paul's new look.
What the fuck have you done to your hair?
But now that they've reunited, it's time for the couples to meet face to face and reflect on their experience.
Your biggest problem is her, and her biggest problem is herself.
They can't just go, what, like 20 minutes? They have to smoke in here too? Now, of course, during this conversation, there are some uncomfortable truths, but luckily everything that Sharon has to say about Brian, Karen actually agrees with, which is refreshing.
But they're doing things, like, I'll do the and I'll do this, and not wanting Brian to shout at you. And they are worried about you.
And they don't want to upset me.
No, they don't. They don't want to upset you, and they want to keep everything in order for Brian.
It's true. Everything you're saying's true.
And Brian, hearing all this, seething.
Everything.
Karen, the kids aren't timid.
Brian, can I just interrupt on this? Brian?
No, everybody's interrupting me, but I let everybody else speak.
Brian,
That's what the fuck I don't understand.
I've not said anything at all
Okay?
yet.
No, you haven't, but you're interrupting me now.
Yeah, Brian, you're really showing us in real time why everyone maybe doesn't want you to speak at all costs.
You've got to treat her with such respect. She's your wife.
You've grinded her down and got in her head and stripped her of her own identity.
He gets in your head. I agree.
What's wrong with that?
Gee, I don't know, like maybe everything about that?
So you get to the point where you begin to think that you can't think for yourself.
Brian is grinding those molars right now. He is not happy. Now, I suppose we did cover some ground. A very little amount of ground, and it may have been a dog pile on Brian for most of it, but I would say a necessary and well-deserved dog pile.
I appreciate you. I do. And maybe I need to start saying it a little bit more.
That would be nice.
And so after that less than productive conversation, the families are finally reunited, and we skip a week to see what's changed after this experience.
I think he's still in shock about it, but he's enjoying it, yeah.
And the new Karen's insisting that she and Brian work as a team.
Okay, take a break. I'll do it.
I imagine that's not Brian being courteous. He's just getting frustrated with her not doing it right. Like, oh, you're not, you just, you know what? Why don't you take a break? I'll take it from here.
Listen to Karen more because now she's got something meaningful and thoughtful to say.
Well, we were on the right track, and then you had to go throw in that backhanded compliment. But now let's check in with Sharon and Paul, the household that was on the better end of things for most of the episode, and let's see what positive changes that they've made.
I left Paul and I've just moved on, and this is where I'm living now. Because it just wasn't right.
That was fast. Wow, only took her a week. How much of that decision do you think was based on his new haircut?
Paul was in the wrong for the way he wanted to be with my children.
So she left Paul, and now Paul is just stuck with that haircut. Them being right for each other or not, maybe not the couple I would have wanted to split in this episode, if I'm being honest.
In the future, I want to find myself, if I do find another man, someone who's going to be ideal and who's going to make a perfect stepfather.
Oh, God, wow, what a doozy this episode was. Like I said earlier, I had to split this watch session into 2 sessions because watching it raw was a rough time. But I hope you guys did enjoy me covering it. If you did, as always, leave a like rating down below, comment, follow me on my other social medias. If you haven't, it's at Chris the James everywhere. And don't forget to check out my merch. You can find it on my channel or at chrisjames.shop. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.